factory, that kind of shit. But I don't know.
Sure.
Different
Well, you don't. If it's mandatory 10, you don't get the flexibility. Just get your 40 in when you want.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where did that come from then? You guys just wanted to try it, or?
Yeah, we wanted to try it. We're going to trial it for a month and see how it goes, see how it affects our productivity and stuff. So, I mean, I'm still going to work 5 days, but the rest of the team will get to work 4.
Greetings all.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey. Got your invite and said, hey, it's the first Friday of the month. Let me hop on in.
Nice.
Thomas, you have an open invitation.
Oh, thank you. That really, now that I'm actually like back to actually working on stuff again, it feels, nice to be back in the groove.
Yeah.
Nice.
The holiday season was not kind. I don't know. I don't think I've really posted much about this on socials, but my wife got laid off in the beginning of November, and I mean, got to give her a lot of credit. I myself probably would have gone into like a depressive funk for a month and just like watch TV and sleep and whatnot. No, she hopped on that horse and she just started sending out resumes. Bam, she got a new job inside a month. And
Nice.
she just started, and
Nice.
it was a little tense there. But what was interesting is because new job, and she's in the office. This is the first time in 2 years and 10 months that I've had any time to myself.
Nice.
And it was like I can sit down in the game and I don't have to hear daddy, 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 daddy. The worst part is like the cat who suddenly senses like everyone's gone. What do I do? And she's like clinging to me like I'm the last chopper out of Saigon. It's just, but it's so
I'm
nice.
glad it worked out.
Yeah, me too. It was a little tense there, but she got a job doing the exact same thing, which is training, corporate training, and like at the same exact pay scale. Plus, in addition to like now getting a paycheck, she's still getting severance from the old job. So it's like we're almost getting a little bonus for it. So
Nice.
party time with the wife. So
That's awesome.
yeah. So who else is here?
Yeah. Robert here.
Hi.
Justin there.
Robert. Nice.
How's it going?
Good. It's just kind of refreshing. It's like new year. There's like new opportunities, and I have a mentor, which is awesome.
Nice. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, this guy who initially got my start showing my game at expos. He just had a kid, and he's basically just stuck doing the stay-at-home dad thing like I was doing for years. And basically, all he can do is like hold baby and maybe look at his phone. So he's like, "Hey, let me help you out. Well, you got a game dev doc?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Well, here, let's get you started." And he's been walking me through making a game design document. He's been looking at like some of the marketing schemes that we can come up with and giving me tips and tricks on that. And it's just like all of a sudden, this kind of lull in my game dev career is just suddenly re-energized, and exciting times.
Nice.
So I think the big push for this year is I want to try to get to New York. I want to try to either show my game at Games for Change or possibly Tribeca Immersive if they don't charge an arm and a leg for it.
Cool.
Very cool. I still
Do
have
a
to
lot
do
of
one of
those.
those games
go ahead.
con type things sometimes. I haven't done one yet, like where you go and set up a booth. They invited me to some, but I'm always like, I don't know, is it worth like the money to spend? So I don't know.
Yeah,
Probably do it at some point though.
Yeah, it depends because like I've done some of the local ones, and that's only set me up. Oh, I think the last one I did was about 175, and that was just for like the space and the electricity, and like I brought my own table and everything else. But it's still just so worth it to, well, explain yourself. You know how
Yeah.
you like, either you, what's the expression? Like, you can truly understand a problem when you have to explain to somebody, what the problem is, or what is it? Explain it to the duck. But it's a way of honing both your sales pitch and I guess the ideas that you have kicking around in your head. And when you see somebody actually like sitting down, playing it and saying, "Oh yeah, I get it. It feels amazing." Or when you have a little kid who's like, "I really like your game. Can I play it again?" It's like, "Of course, sit down, play. It's awesome."
Nice.
I think
It's
one of
just
the
free feedback and play testing and comments.
Oh yeah, because no matter what you do, no matter how many times you do play test and you check things, some jabroni is gonna find something that you just didn't plan for. Oh, there's no
Yeah.
like collider on that
Yeah.
wall, so whoop! I just hopped over and hey, beat your level, dumbass. Which has happened more times than I care to admit. Some smart ass little kid is just like hop, 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 woo! And hey, I beat your game in 10 seconds. I'm like, crap. All right, make a note and take it back to the drawing board. And I've actually had one kid I've shown it to like a couple years in a row, and each time he's like determined to find something that I missed. So I usually hand out swag. I hand out little circular stickers are about 2 inches in diameter. I actually had some
Nice.
like actual pin buttons made, and I'm like, "Here, kid, you earned this one." Next time I just
That's
got to like
awesome.
take him out for
Gotta be a
beers or
QA
something.
person.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what
Nice.
my niece and nephew are, because they're tweeners and they're smart as whips. And every time they play my stuff, it's like, "Here, this is your problems. This is what's wrong," and they give me incredible feedback. And including pointing out that I'm really old because when I'm playing my games, I like it at the slow setting, and they're like, "Can you please make this faster? This sucks." Shit, I am getting old. My old kid, my own kids won't even say that to me because it's like, "Damn it, Daddy's got to make dinner." So
Well, that's good.
is it
That's
me? Is the
usually
clubhouse has
easy.
changed a little bit? So
So
it
there's
looks
a
like
lot of
there's
new stuff this week.
yeah.
Yeah,
Does-
I started doing a localization for my game to like launch it in China. So I learned how to do that. Like you actually has a system like where you can load up all your strings and it'll like swap it out for you. So there's a whole thing learning that. And then for like the contract work I do, they wanted me to like rig and uh rig and like skin like it was just like I modeled the cloud and they're like, "Oh, what if we rig it up and then have like blend shapes so we can make different clouds with it?" So I never like rigged anything with bones and like skinned it. So I learned how to do that on the fly. How about like a plugin lets me do it in Unity because that's just how I do everything. It's easier. And then I got like a cool little cloud. I animated it and it like morphs. When you play it like at normal speed, it looks like a creepy alien caterpillar. But if you do it slowly, or you can use it to make randomized clouds. You just put like a random spot on the animation. You got a different shaped cloud.
What are you
That's cool.
using to animate?
I just do it in Unity, just the Unity's animation system.
Really? Wow, you can do blend shapes in Unity? Goodness,
Well, once it's
still,
like
using.
skinned on there, you can it's not technically a blend shape, but once it's skinned, you can
Mhm.
increase and decrease the size of the bones to like blow it up. So as long as you, as long as you do the bones and the skins right, you can, pretty much make it do whatever you want to do. And I mean, you could set those up to animation, so it'll still work like a blend shape. Maybe you
'Cause-
can do actual blend shapes. I just never tried, but because the animation system works fine.
Yeah, I did blend shapes like a bajillion years ago in Blender, and I just did it for like a flapping flag or something, and it worked. And once that was done, but I mean, it took forever, and I really had a tough time wrapping my head around a lot of the. So I'm used to just rig everything and animate everything by hand, and to do it with blend shapes is just like voodoo magic to me. And to actually do it in Unity would save me so many steps.
Yeah, I can let
Nice.
you know the asset I used. It was pretty easy. But I mean, for reference, if you did want to animate a flag, that'd be way easier with like shaders. Just do like a
Mhm.
vertex offset on like a sine wave.
And I just picked up
That'll be a fun one.
Curved World, which is all done in shaders, and that's like freaking magic to me. No
Which one?
idea how that works. I think it's literally called Curved World.
Oh,
And
Curved World. Oh, it's like a plugin.
Mhm, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that. Like it popped up like on sales and stuff, and I was like, oh, that looks neat, but I didn't have any like practical use for it. But it did look really cool.
Yeah, I'm using it for my my mobile game just because it's an infinite runner, and to just look at a straight on, never ending highway was me. So people kept saying, "Oh, get the Curved World thing where it turns and twists and whatnot." And admittedly, it looks fantastic. So I threw it on my my VR demo, and it doesn't work in VR, but on flat screen, it looks kind of cool to do that kind of little worlds, Super Mario Galaxy type look, and
Yeah.
to see like my level in this just little world that I'm running over. It's like, oh, this is super cool. Except everyone's gonna say, yeah, Super Mario Galaxy, bud. It's been done.
That was pretty cool. What you
So
been
we
working
haven't.
on lately, Robert?
A lot of things. Main thing right now is we're rebuilding our AI system. It's a
Didn't
fucking
you
mess.
have a Twitter post about that? I feel like I saw
Maybe, I don't
something.
know.
Yeah, I feel like I saw something on Twitter. It's like, oh, there's Robert, and he's got something coming. I like it.
There's a lot of things we're doing. Like,
Always something coming.
yeah, it's always something. Like, we're kind of like rebuilding shit again for the third fucking time, which is a
Ooh.
little annoying. But every time, it's like it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That kind of thing. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna rebuild my ragdoll system, just like the what's the one I'm using called the Puppet Master. It's pretty good, but it just has too many bugs, like especially in VR with like my stabbing system and stuff. So I'm probably just gonna make my own one, like mostly from scratch, and like
yeah.
see how that
But
goes. I think because I have an idea how I could do it that'll be like better and more like dynamic than the way Puppet Master does it, which is kind of like more complex than it needs to be.
we're we're doing a bunch of things. We're replacing our entire VR controller with something.
Out of the box.
I don't know if this is like public yet or not, but like kind of just to like prove that I do a lot of things out of spite.
No.
So like
Really?
just yeah, a little bit, I know, surprise, but just kind of to show off the fact that frankly we're fucking awesome developers and we can do whatever. And those boneheads over at Bone Lab, with their look at our physics, like to show the fact that shit's not actually difficult, because it's fucking not. We're gonna have like physics-based stuff as just a fucking option. So like you can play as how we think is obviously correct, everyone in my goddamn studio, which is you swing the fucking weapon and it just does fucking damage, or the floppy dick fucking shit that some people like, where you pull out a sword and it's like weirdly floppy for some fucking reason, which I own a katana, by the way. They're not floppy.
You gotta hold it
God
with two
damn it.
hands. That's why. Like,
No, you can hold it with one hand and it's fine.
I don't know. I mean, you can, but it's pretty hard to like swing it around hard with just like one hand.
Yeah,
and, like, keep it
I
steady.
guess. But anyway, like that's one thing we're working on, like, and that should be done within like a week probably. This is a bunch of small things too, like our handling of like stairs and stuff wasn't great, and the VR expansion plugin for Unreal just handles a bunch of that shit by default. And I wanted like physical based containers from the very beginning, and that would have been very difficult with the previous system we had. So we ripped out the whole fucking thing, and it's like half the way implemented. Like we can access our inventory again. It's just a whole mess.
I containers are physics based just because it was the easier thing to do. Like my treasure chest is just like 2 boss colliders and like a hinge joint, and like I put like a little sensor like on the tip of the lid, and then on the behind it, so when it hits it, it knows it's open, and then it just starts shooting the coins out. Like and my drawers too, they just have little handles that are joints, and then the drawer itself is on like a configurable joint, but it would be like what I'll call sliding joint. I made it so
I'm still not really
Before I had it where you
sure.
can actually rip the drawers completely out and like chuck them, but I think I made it so that doesn't happen because sometimes the drawers would break like without you wanting them to, and then they'd get all like wedged in there weird.
I'm still not really
I mean,
sure how
though,
we're
you
gonna
can always
handle
break it if you pull it out.
handle our like inventory system because it's not like world based where like you open the drawer and all the stuff is sitting in there like what your stuff is, because like that doesn't make sense for like a full scale RPG, because like then
Because mine I try to keep it like on the lighter end. I mean, my backpack is like
I
more
mean
like
like
the Saints and Sinners one, but like for your home, it's like, and the stuff that spawns in the world is literally like like you open up the drawer and it's in there and you take it out.
yeah like we can't do that though, because like if we have like 5,000 weapons or what the fuck ever crazy number, I can't fit a longsword in a fucking dresser drawer. Like
That's why you
not
put a bunch
really.
of sword stands on the walls. And
Yeah, but that's
in
not
my game too. You have
that's
sword stands and you can hang
it's
up your
just not
swords and everything.
it's just not good. Well, I'm not talking about for the player's home. I'm talking about for like if you're in a dungeon, right? It doesn't
Oh,
make
yeah.
sense. Like and you like the classic thing is to find a chest, right? Like if you open that chest, you're not gonna find a fucking sword just jammed in there. Doesn't make any sense. So yeah,
You just see when the
it-
giant spears like shoot out of the chest in my game. They're like, it looks like those little snakes in the can.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, there's that we're working on, and then there's the whole new fucking character system. We're probably going to end up using a modified, optimized version of metahumans instead, because like
Yeah.
red matter can do it. So eat
That's the
dicks. I
thing that
can
like
do it too.
animates their faces and stuff, right?
Metahumans is Epic's fully digitalized humans. They're basically indistinguishable from real people. But of course,
Oh,
it
so
uses
it's
all kinds
models
of.
and everything. I thought it was just like a rigging system. That's crazy.
Well, it's also a rigging system, but yeah, you can like generate people out of it. And it has
'cause
like
I remember seeing a video of it and it was showing someone talking and like their facial expressions looked really good. And I thought it was just from that, I thought it was just like they rigged it with that. I didn't realize it was like the rigging and like the actual characters themselves. That's pretty cool.
it does a lot, but like the problem is it doesn't really work well on mobile. So we're gonna have to do a lot of optimization. But if the Red Matter devs could do it, I can fucking do it because there's nothing I can't. So
Have you played Red Matter 2?
not yet.
I
I'm
haven't
still
played
working my
either,
way
but
through
I
the
have a
first one.
feeling. I bet like all the rooms are like really small and like tightly compacted. And that's how they got
Yeah,
away
that's
with
what I would
that
think
stuff.
too. But like, and then there's like an article written up by ARM on like how to do their fancy ass reflections they did. So like, I'm sure
Huh.
we could follow that and make it fucking work as well. There's also like, and the other big thing is like the AI. Like our AI for like the demo that you guys have seen is it was just combat AI. There's no like AI for like the AI for like characters in the city and stuff, because they have to live entire fucking lives. If you
Oh.
followed an NPC from
That
like,
would be the easier part, I would think too. Like, it'd be the
I mean,
city,
you would think
and
so, but
the
it's,
combat's the hard part.
I kind of disagree right now, because like,
Because I prototyped one in Unity real quick, and I mean it didn't have animation; it was just capsules moving around. But like it was pretty easy. At least with Unity's navigation system, it was like, well, if they want X kind of, it was going to be a detective thing. So like it was basically like the characters would want either they were hungry or they wanted to have sex or they wanted a certain kind of
Yeah.
drug, so they would go seek that out. And so basically they just had numbers, and when those numbers would get low, then they would just like find that kind of point, like the closest point.
yeah,
and
that's
move
like
to
the simpler way to do it. But like, we're using a new system in Unreal that's kind of still experimental, called Smart Objects. That it's like a pooling system that's just like persistent worldwide, that you can place down all these objects, and the actual driven way of handling the interactions with that object live inside of the fucking object. So like like today we finally got like the sleep schedules and the eating working. So like they'll eat and sleep on a fucking schedule, and like in between that, another thing we really want to get rid of is we want to try to get rid of wandering, because that's not how people fucking use the world in general. But it's been a constant thing in video game AI for what, 30 fucking years. So it's ideally, if we have animations. We have like 2,500 animations for different things you can do, like looking through a shelf or sweeping a floor, wiping a window, or cleaning up a bar counter, or what the fuck ever. If we put all those objects in the world, we should have enough stuff where that NPCs will never just fucking wander around aimlessly. They'll always be trying to go do something, which is what we intend to make a living, breathing world. So it's quite a big undertaking. And then combat is a whole thing too. But that's just really make them fucking follow you and try to fucking slice you.
You got to have some wandering though, because like the number of
Do we?
friggin' every time I'm out like going grocery shopping or something, there's about a bajillion old ladies who are just, what do I do? And I feel like I should give a slap upside the head. Your code's
That's how I am at the
misfiring.
grocery store too, and I'm pretty high. Like if I got 2 stone before I go shopping, it's like, dude, what was I trying to get again? You end up walking around the store like 5 times like to get stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, perhaps we'll end up doing just a bunch of smaller things. Like it's completely reasonable that someone would wander like onto the main bridge in Rustfall and just like look over the bridge. Like that's something that a person might do. But we can also achieve that with just like a nice animation or a gameplay smart object thing. It's a really cool system. It like pools everything. It's just weirdly expensive to set up. Like every individual object requires like 5 fucking classes. It's annoying.
I would just put like points the characters have to go to, and then once they get there, like an animation that triggers when they get there or something like that. Like
yeah, that would be the traditional way of handling it, but like that's not very performant. Like if you have hundreds of those fucking things.
Because you would probably just have it so they're only on if the player was like near them, because then they don't really, if the player can't see it, there's no point in them doing their thing.
Oh well, certainly, yeah. You have a radius kind of thing, and you take down the AI, So yeah, it's a lot of shit right now.
Like just like section it off so like when you hit a bunch of points to like teleport you like to other scenes. Oh, you know what I was gonna say? I just added back in all the castle areas that I had like taken out to reconstruct the story, and now in Samurai Slaughterhouse, there's like 30 different like areas that you could fight in. It's pretty crazy.
Nice.
That's quite a bit. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, actually, it includes the inside of buildings. So I guess it's not all ones you can fight in, but yeah, it's like 30 different scenes that make up the story part of the game, which is I think kind of a lot.
I'm so like excited for us to be able to like do our internal testing for the quests and stuff, because like we have the 268 interiors for like the Rustfall Old District done. Like they're fully decorated with stuff and like they have characters assigned, all of it. But now we got to redo the characters, and it's a whole fucking thing. But super excited about that when it's finally ready. It is. It has a headset on it.
Are your quests being done by hand, or are you gonna just like generate them like randomly?
They're all by hand. Like with the new quest system, we should be able to generate like a fucking dozen quests a day between all of us.
Yeah.
And we're aiming for like a couple hundred.
So is that going to be like a couple hundred of go find some cheese?
I mean, yeah, probably. There's probably going to be like 20, 30 of those, Those are classic RPG quests, I lost my pet rat, go find it. And then it's an enormous fucking rat or something,
Nice.
You should have a king rat in the game somewhere. That'd be pretty cool.
Something like that, yeah.
King rats are awesome.
of unusual size.
Yeah.
I love hearing like, oh yeah, we had 30 sections, and I'm like, I'm so tickled that like I'm playing Paper Mansion demo, and like one of the things I saw on there was leaf piles, and I'm like, that's a cool thing. I should add that. So my big achievement this week is made a leaf pile. Yay!
Oh yeah, we got leaf piles. I'm all about that.
Yeah, leaves.
We don't have leaf piles. We have straw piles.
They're just textures on the floor and in the trees.
I've got 3D leaves, real 3D leaves. They're beautiful.
No, I got flat leaves. They're not really that 3D. But they do have, I think they have wind on them. If not, I'll add wind because I do know how to do that.
Yeah, simple fucking vertex thing.
Yeah. That was one
So
of the things
much
I had
left
to
to
do this
do.
week too, set up Wind for like a client like on their thing. It was like it was like a thing where like they had like plants in different places, so it couldn't just be like a from the on the Y vertex. So I actually made like maps where it was like, black is no wind and white is like complete wind. So
Oh.
I ended up having to like map them out. That was my genius like solution to that.
What all does the wind affect in game then?
It's just the animation on like the trees. It's not an actual like.
Okay.
It doesn't actually affect anything. It's just an
Causes
effect.
your shurikens to fly at a 45-degree angle instead of a 90.
I know.
You know?
Imagine like I like spent that kind of time. Nah, it's already hard enough to aim them. Like I mean, as far as VR games go, it's pretty good like at throwing, but it's still not easy to aim.
Just aim assist.
I mean, I may add some tracking onto them. But I have like 5 different shuriken models, so I think I'm gonna add other shurikens, and like some will have
Wow.
better tracking than others, so that there's some kind of difference between them.
No, that's cool. That'd be a cool idea.
Now, do they have like physics? Did they like drop off after a certain amount of travel or anything?
Yeah, it's all physics based, just using Unity's physics system pretty much. And like they can get stuck in things, like you can get stuck in the walls, like you can get stuck on the enemies. It's happened before where I stuck one in an enemy and then he kind of like swung his arm and hit another enemy, and the two were like stuck together from like a throwing star. That's pretty ridiculous.
That's awesome.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Until it like totally wrecks the physics. And they go like flying through everywhere, and like their legs and stuff are all like stretched out.
That'll be an
that's why I want to make
achievement.
my own ragdoll system.
Yeah.
You string together enemies kind of like human centipede. That should be an achievement.
Yes.
Just staple them all together, like
Exactly.
like the railgun in Fallout 3. Like,
Yes.
And they all tumble off together in synchronicity.
Oh, a game has something like that is what is the game where you're like a terrorist and you're like blowing stuff up?
Excuse me.
Counter-Strike?
No, not Counter-Strike. It's a single player game, like with like a story. And it was
I didn't know there was
free.
a terrorist simulator game.
Yeah,
I kinda
like they
wanna
don't
play
call
it
it that,
now.
but like that's clearly what they call your character like a freedom fighter or something. But you're just like blowing up government buildings and shit the whole time, like some kind of South American country. What is it called?
No, it's not 1979 revolution, right? I know that was
Sequels,
about
like
the Iran uprising, but it doesn't sound like it.
was it like what was it called? Uncharted. They gave it away for free on Epic. It was like the 4th one or something.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know. I don't kind of read, but yeah, in that game you can like attach like you have like this thing you can shoot, and it's like a bungee cord. You can attach like 2 ends to whatever you want, and then you can put little rockets on it, so you can like people will be sitting in town, and you can attach a rocket secretly to their seat and like launch them into like the sky and shit. The game is ridiculous.
Damn, I get conversations like this, and I just start suddenly thinking like there's a ton of cool ideas. Like take that and mix it with like Bad Neighbor, and suddenly find just different ways to fuck with your neighbor. So he's sitting there trying to grill, and you're attaching rockets to his lawn chair, send him up
It's like
into
Ghost
orbit.
Simulator.
Exactly. It's funny. My brother just got me Untitled Goose Game for Christmas, and I'm playing it. And it's just like, this isn't nearly as evil as I really wanted it to be. So yeah, I can steal the little gardener's hat, and here's his radio. No, I really want to mess with stuff.
I like messing with the little kid in it. That's like the best part. Oh my god, what is the name of this game? I'm just gonna log in again. See what games.
It's not
I
like
have
Far
that have
Cry or
that.
something, is it?
Oh yeah, I think it is Far Cry.
Ooh,
Is it
I
Far
just
Cry?
played the
Let's see.
Primal one, the Stone Age one. And
Nah,
what
nah,
really
I
kind of
can't.
ruined it for me was the redneck fucking caveman. There was literally he kind of
Fucking
he
what?
was working hard to do, but he sounded like a redneck, and he would have contraptions that he put together, and I'm like, this
That
is a
sounds
redneck
awful.
game. It really
hate
was. It
rednecks.
totally blew up everything about the game. It's like they put in a redneck idiot caveman, and it totally ruined everything because everyone else had some sort of like tribal ethnicity that, you know, here's like your African tribe, here's your, you know, Australian Aboriginal, and then there's, you know, redneck with my crazy inventions. I'm like, really?
I enjoyed that
I
game.
just hate
so
those
much.
fucking accents so much. Like even the fucking like call outs in Halo Infinite where the fucking dude's like, over there. Like, Jesus Christ. You fuck your sister with that mouth, you piece of shit.
Jesus, dude. Come on. There's nothing wrong with a country accent, bro.
Yes,
Come
there
on.
is. I worked.
No, there's
do,
not.
do you hear
No.
that shit in me? I am from Georgia.
I'm
I worked
gonna
very
kill
hard
you.
to get
I mean,
rid
I'm
of
from
that
Georgia
shit.
too, so I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah. I worked very hard to get rid of that shit out of my vocabulary.
I like it. I find myself going back to it.
Gross.
Embracing
You're
my
like,
roots.
howdy, y'all.
I've never heard
Yeah.
anyone in my life say howdy, y'all.
I have.
Like unironically.
No, there's like there's actually a couple areas in California that are like totally like cowboy town. Like everyone there, like people literally ride horses like around, like
That's
it has,
fucking
like cowboy
bizarre.
hats, and there's like rodeos and like. They,
I mean, that's
they
kind of like where that
lassoing
shit was, though, right? So, like, maybe it's less weird, like Vegas and shit. I don't know, Nevada. I don't know.
California. Maybe I mean it's still like big in Mexico too, like the ranchero things and stuff. But yeah.
I can tell you
Yeah,
what
I've been to a
ruined Far-
rodeo before.
I've been to tons of
friend of mine.
rodeos.
No, I've only been to
Tons
one. It
of
was my first and only
rodeos.
rodeo. But it was entertaining. We had good seats. I got dirt thrown on me from like the horse. That's how close we were.
Nice.
Sounds
It's
awful.
like it's like SeaWorld. You're seeing Shamu.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Like when you go to Monster Jam, you sit like in the front. You get dirt thrown at you there too.
Weird entertainment.
There's an Evil Dead musical that has a splash zone, and you'll get like fake blood all over you. I really want to do that.
Nice.
Wear like a white shirt to it too. So I guess my game in Chinese is gonna be like the translation is gonna be bloodbath or bloodbath Ronin. They said because
I didn't even know what the fuck a Ronin was.
Chinese.
After you sent that, I was like, what the fuck is a Ronin? So I Googled it.
A Ronin? Oh yeah, it's a samurai without a job. Which
Yeah,
probably does
I
more
didn't
accurately
fucking know
describe
that.
the player, but you're not into like anime and stuff. I was like, you never watched Ronin Kenshin?
No, I don't do anime. I, am not whatever
Same.
that
I've never
is.
seen any. I've never seen any anime ever. I don't know what.
Demo, you look like every weeb. I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
I look like
Yes.
what? When have you seen my face?
I seen a
you were
picture
on
of
a,
you one time. I forgot
you
where
were
it
on
was
an
at, but I
Unreal
remember
Engine
seeing it,
stream a while
and,
ago.
Oh yeah.
I remember
Yeah, I
you
watched that
looked like your
stream.
avatar. That was what I remember about it.
I see. I see.
Not your avatar right now, like your one that you had made where you're on the cloud.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he might look
Yes.
like this too, just very circular and very white.
I am circular and
facial
very white.
features.
So
His like
Well-
eyes and like mouth and nose are just like slits on the circle.
yeah.
I was using that line from what was it, Neil Stephenson's Zodiac about myself earlier today. It's like that pleasing convex shape that comes from a lifetime of devouring ding dongs and Thunderbird.
Sorry about that. I gotta go get more beer today. I ran out of beer.
I'm worried that the Great Lakes Brewing Company's Christmas Ale is starting to dwindle at my my local supermarket. Stuff is like nectar.
Okay.
I just
there's
can't
this,
drink that often.
Yeah. I don't drink
Lagunitas
ever,
releases
dude.
a special beer for 420
Boring.
that's made with like hash like oils, and it's
Ooh.
called the Waldos, and like that one's like really limited, and like normally at like Total Wine and stuff like those, it sells out like instantly, but there's like this little liquor store by me that always orders craft beers, and like when they get that in, I guess no one goes there that knows about it because they have it for a long time. I end up buying like probably all of it. Like they probably stock the whole thing just for me. Like I remember the first time I went, I bought like 3 cases, and I felt like bad. I was like, oh, I feel guilty for taking them all. And I went back like the next week, and they're still there. I was like, okay, I don't feel bad now.
I might have to like send you a kidney, like just here, send me a case. That sounds awesome. I'm in the middle of like Prohibition, Ohio, so you know, it all sucks here. Best I could do is some like decent home brews, and that's about it.
Damn.
Yeah, I would have to like get a medical card to say I've got like PTSD or something, so I could go to the special store.
What?
Oh yeah, it used to be like that here in California.
Yeah, Ohio blows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the slightly northern Florida.
What do you mean slightly? We're like all the way northern Florida.
You know.
I got my own little niche of like actual like real world, and beyond that, like 15 minutes in each direction. It's just I just want to
swamps or
stay
what?
in my enclave, and
It's weird to me
Basically,
how many people are in Ohio. Like, I always figured there were like 30 fucking people there. But no, there's
Yeah,
like
it's
actual
surprising.
cities.
There's 30 million of us, and that's just depressing. But we've got a few nice dots of like civilization, and the rest is just Mad Max. Yeah. I'm actually trying to look at like home forging so I can like make caltrops and stuff. So when those giant MAGA caravans of oversized novelty trucks start coming in, I can just like disable them real quick.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's so
Maybe,
weird.
raiding
Like everyone,
people and stuff.
I live in actually like a very progressive town for this state, which amazes me that it exists still. But yeah, everyone's driving Priuses and little Nissan Leafs and stuff, and then every so often you see these just giant oversized monster trucks come through, and just everything stops, and they all look at them like, "Ooh, what's that?"
I love the Nissan Leaf. I had 2 of those. They were good fucking cars.
Yeah, at some point, I'm driving a really ancient Chevy Equinox, and I'd love to get either an EV or at least a hybrid because I'm just taking my kids to school and going grocery shopping and
Yeah.
stuff. So I don't need anything big. My wife's got a Sonata that we had to go and get a club for because that's like the new hot car to steal because you can just like jack it in 30 seconds with the USB drive.
Oh yeah, you got one of those. The TikTok cars. You steal.
Yep.
Everybody loves making TikTok videos about stealing them cars with USB sticks.
So yeah, we basically found out. Our local police department was giving away the club, which like nobody has seen since like I don't know 1995 or something.
It's like
They still make
I remember living in like East Palmdale, like my brother putting that on his like car. Didn't stop anyone from stealing the stereo though, but they didn't steal the car itself.
I very much like that. Like, one of the features of the fucking Model 3 is that if someone was to steal your car, you could just like limit the speed limit to like 5 miles an hour. It's just a really cool feature. I can limit the speed of my car.
Huh.
I really like my Model 3.
Yeah.
I need to get a new car. My car is like not working. I was thinking about getting it fixed, but I'm like, I'm just ready to get a new one. I got a bunch of money coming in from Chinese companies, so I was like, let me just get a new car.
I'm pretty excited about like the stuff we're seeing at CES. Like HTC's headset, kind of looks like they're faltering again. What a fucking surprise! Like, it looks fine. I'm sure the color pass is great and all that, but $1,100, they're out of their goddamn minds.
Yeah,
But,
unless they can like subsidize it like the way they do like cell phones,
Yeah,
no
like-
one's gonna pay that much. Like,
No, like they just. It's not a fucking competitor. It doesn't have like controllers that match the Quest Pro. It doesn't have face and eye tracking. Like, what the what the fuck? What are they doing?
I heard they're looking
I
for
want
devs too.
I
may, like,
want them to
contact them get a
succeed
kit.
so bad.
Right?
So fucking bad, but they keep fucking fumbling. So like, did you guys see side quests like was also like, what the fuck are they doing? I thought that shit was hilarious.
No, I missed that one.
The actual side quest account was like, fucking HCC keeps fumbling.
That's funny.
I don't know. Nolo, I'm curious to see what they're doing too, because like they are obviously
I haven't
not
talked
great.
to them. I may like talk to them and get some porting fees. You should port some systems. It's pretty. You'd
Well,
be surprised. It's
like-
pretty easy to do. Like
they didn't
I
offer
mean-
us like I talked to Nolo and I have 2 of their dev kits, but they didn't offer us enough money to port. Like it wouldn't have covered the cost of actually doing it, like our payroll. So
Like the hardest part is just localizing everything to Chinese. Like well, I paid someone $500 like to do everything for me. So the only thing I had to do was like localize
that's
it.
not the case for us though, because like a lot of our shit relies on Oculus. You know, so we gotta like find ways around doing Oculus plugins and stuff. Because you're
Oh,
not
yeah, no,
technically
mine is
supposed to
pretty,
ship with that stuff.
Because I my other game, my first prototype of Samurai Slaughterhouse, I did one with the Steam VR and I did one with the Oculus, and I was like, I can't be like dependent on these. So I made one that's like
I mean, the
independent
plugins are
of
just so
those.
goddamn good when
The
they
Oculus
fucking work.
one?
Yeah, they're great when they work.
Well, I mean, the stuff like the lip sync and all the extra stuff is, but as far as the actual like player controller rigs that they put in there, I don't like it. It has the same issue that this thing has, where like if you physically in your space move off center, then it's gonna change like the point that it rotates you around. So like,
I have no idea what we would do for facial animation if we didn't have Oculus lip sync. Like,
yeah, but that's that'll work on anything. You don't need to use that just for the Quest. That'll work on like
yeah, but you're not
Steam.
like. I'm pretty sure the licensing says you can't do that.
No, I think it says it's just open. Like, well, at least you can get it from the Unity store, because like that's how the Unity asset store like forces people that put assets on there to make it. Is that once you get the asset, like it's yours, unless they require multiple seats or something like that. But
yeah.
But yeah, for free assets, like they even put it
Perhaps.
on there that like they can't just give you like they can't put an asset on there and be like, oh, this is the free version, but you can't use it in commercial. Like if it's on the asset store, it has to be able to be like completely yours once you get the asset.
Oh, hopefully Nolo gets back to us though, and we can work out something better though, because their new headset does look better-ish. Their whole thing was they were
Yeah.
like, well, we can't afford to pay what you want, but once we launch our next headset, maybe we can. So I don't know, maybe they'll reach back out. We'll see.
Yeah, if you do like it for like a bunch of companies, then it's like it's less work because, I mean,
Yeah,
I
like
guess it's
I feel
more
like
work
once you do it
altogether, but, like,
once,
a lot
it'd
of
be
it,
fine
yeah.
to do
Once
it
you
on
do
a
it
bunch.
once, it like basically applies across the board. Like the person that did like mine for the IGE also did it for Pico. He's like, I wasn't there. I just did the Pico too. I was like, oh, thanks. I'll pay you some money for that too.
I mean,
Even though
like
you didn't
I
ask
also
for
have the
any money,
fucking Focus 3, and I want to put it
Oh.
on there as well, but.
but I got a new one called YVR that contacted me, so they're sending me that, and theirs is supposedly like the equivalent of what the Quest 3 is going to be, or the Pico, whatever the next Pico
Oh,
is.
nifty.
Yeah,
I'm so
there's-
fucking
waiting
excited
dev
for the
kits.
Quest 3. Like, if it actually ends up using an Adreno 740, it's going to be a fucking game changer. You guys are like aware of that? It's going to be goddamn insane.
I'm pretty excited. I can't really talk much about it, but I might get my hands on one like early this year, or something
Yeah.
I'm going to be working on. So
I'm sure.
that'll be cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if it actually does have an Adreno 740, we should be able to go to like 1.5 million tries with no fucking problem.
You don't think
I-
it can hit 1.5 million tries right now? I need to optimize my scene. Then.
No, I think we
There's a
can.
new scene I put in there, and it's like 1.5 million tries, but I hella optimize everything else, so it's like 60 jaw calls. So I haven't
Well,
tested on the
I
Quest,
mean,
so we'll see.
I mean, the Quest 2 maxes out for us at around 700,000 triangles.
You must have a
So-
lot of jaw calls in, because the documentation says 1 million triangles. You're good. Like, so.
The documentation says 125,000.
I gotta
Oh,
look
doesn't
at it again. Yeah, look, I could have swear it said 1 million on there.
It says 1 million, dude.
I'm pretty sure it's 1 million. I like looked at it just.
I don't know about
recently.
that. Like, unless they've updated
It does. It says they have updated it over the years. It says
Yeah.
1 million.
It's been a while since I've looked at it, I guess. I know draw callers aren't that bad. They're like Well, it depends on where we're at in the different areas. But like,
I mean, draw calls are not gonna impact your triangle count as much as your material
draw
costs.
calls just impact your
Okay.
entire performance because the CPU is just not powerful enough to render a lot of draw calls or to
Yeah,
pass them
so-
off to the GPU.
Yeah, you kind of got to pick like one or the other.
Yeah, it's a
It's all
balancing
about-
act.
Your vertex shader, all that stuff goes into your try count. So
Yeah, of course. We use
So-
extremely simple shaders though.
Gentlemen, I got to do daddy duty and put some kiddos to bed. Obviously, as always, thank you for the invite. It's lovely, as always, to chat with
Good
you
luck.
all.
Yeah.
And you all rock, and I'm hoping to do this a little bit more than I usually have.
okay,
Awesome.
Good-
So,
Thanks
seeing
for
you around,
joining,
Come
buddy.
back anytime.
Have a good one. Feel like I'm at Magic Mountain. I'm a
How
little
are you
kid's
doing
rights.
that? I can't. Oh my god! What the fuck? Oh.
I play a lot of video games, so I good at like using 2-stick movement to like
Oh,
like you see this was a boss, I could be like circling him and shooting him at the same time.
oh, I got it down now. See, I don't play a lot of games, but I already got it. I'm a pro. Easy, easy clap.
It's like the teacup ride.
If only I had legs in VR. So sad. Gamers only want one thing, and it's legs.
It's legs. Are you gonna try out that handheld system? It's like a Switch type thing, but also does VR. I was talking to them about getting dev kits, but I'm like kind of on the fence about it because I have so much other stuff like going on.
I've not really watched much of CES or cared much about it at this point.
Oh, I didn't watch or do anything at CES either. I
I
don't know,
always
any kind
like
of news.
CES.
If it's anything
New
like
tech
super
stuff.
exciting, like I'll hear about it like on Twitter. Like that's how it is. So I know with like
Yeah.
those Meta Live things, it's like 2 hours of stuff for like 5 announcements. I can just catch those 5 announcements on the Twitter.
Yeah.
Because people be
exactly.
talking about it. Like
Yeah. Well, fun stuff.
yeah.
Don't have
I
much to
started
talk about
testing
today,
a bunch
huh?
of new story content I added today, and like pretty much everything was broken. That's always how it is. Every time I test, I'm like, all right, it's gonna all work smooth, and then like every single step of the quest, it's like, oh, I didn't plug this in, or like this NPC isn't like connected here, and then it's like,
That happens all the time on my game where it's like, it's God.
and you're like, you fix that, and then you hop in, and then like the very next step of the quest like also doesn't work. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like really there's something wrong at like every single point, like that none of it went smooth.
We have this bug that happens all the time where our NPCs won't sit in their fucking chairs. And they'll just they'll just stand in their chairs instead of sitting.
Seems
It's the
good.
most obnoxious shit.
What are you
and
doing
it
with you guys? AI?
time.
Have you guys fucked around with the smart object system yet?
What's a smart object system?
It's new in 5.0 or 5.1. Oh wait, you went back to 4. Never
I
mind.
can't even use Unreal 5.
Yeah, I remember that now. Never mind.
Can't even
You and
use that.
you and your fancy physics.
Yeah, I got too much physics that rely on actual constraints, not exploding. I don't know how games are being made in UE5 if the constraints are so fucked up.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think you were here for it, but like we're redesigning our character controller, and we're gonna add in the option of doing physics-based shit. Just kind of prove, the people who suck the dick of Bone Labs can eat a dick because it's not that fucking hard. Making a
Wait,
sword
you'll
that
see,
bounces
you'll
off
see.
walls.
Once you want your AI to like actually like block the player's attacks and like counter, like you'll see what's up. Like, especially if you want to add like ragdolls that like react.
All
to,
of
like,
it's
movement
covered
and
in the
stuff.
fucking VR expansion plugin. It's not that fucking hard.
Yeah, you just flip a
Yay.
switch. Didn't you know that, Justin? You just flip a switch. And it's perfect.
It's not quite a switch, but it's not. We made this whole interaction engine and we're special. No, you're not.
Yeah, but I mean, from something working from that to working well, it's like a big gap. Like,
We'll
Yeah.
see. I mean,
it's a
we just want it to be
huge
there.
gap.
Like my whole thing is, I just wanted my physics fucking containers. I wanted those from the fucking start. You know, let me slap a fucking drawer open or closed. You know, so at least that part's working right now. Everything else is broken. Still can't talk to
Yeah.
characters anymore.
I'll
Unfortunately.
probably never make a physics-based melee combat game again after this. It's just like it's literally like the most complicated thing you could probably make in VR, like that I can imagine. Like I can't imagine doing anything more complicated than that. It's so much goes into it, like especially like trying to have the AI like react to like the player's movements to dodge and like swinging, block attacks and like
I mean,
gauge
ours is still
the
just gonna fucking use
ranges.
animations and shit, and it's not gonna be that. So we're not gonna be that crazy with it.
Yeah,
As
I mean,
long as
even
it-
with
as-
animations, he's got to play the right animation, especially if he's going to be blocking. Because, I mean, if it's like a flat game, yeah, any old block will work because then you're like, oh, he's in a blocking state, so it blocks. But in VR, if he blocks like that and the player just pokes under the sword and pokes the enemy, then it's going to look dumb if it's like, oh, the attack was blocked, even though they're like, well, I still hit him. Like, how is it blocked? Like, so it gets to be a pain. Like, if you start moving from like the kind of symbolic like RPG, like you're just doing damage to the like, oh, where is this physically hitting? Like how hard is it? Like it gets pretty intense.
like a challenge. We'll see.
Yeah. So just so you know, you got a lot of work if you do want to try to make it fully physics based. And again, it depends how like detailed you want the AI to be too. Like
it
you
just
want them
has to work. That's all it is. Like we're not really gonna fucking use that in the studio because it's not something we care about. So all it has to do is bounce off the fucking enemies and like possibly go inside of them and like stick. That's pretty much it. I don't give a fuck about whether or not they block accurately and shit like that. Like it's cool, I guess, but I'm not putting extra work into that for no reason. Like I don't. Again, the combat's not the main thing in my game, so it's not. I think the player is just gonna get it.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I mean, I'm not making your samurai sword game, so.
Yeah, it's like it's a definite pain.
Yeah.
Like especially the ragdolls, like trying to get like the ragdolls to like work.
We already
With,
experienced
like,
some
the
pain with that.
movement,
Like in the new version of the demo, the guy that's in the cart with you, he gets fucking shot with an arrow, and like sometimes he just stretches the fuck out. It's whatever. It happens. It's whatever. It's also not a game breaker either. Like I don't really care if that makes it into the final game.
I used to like in the really early access versions of Ark, that would happen all the time. We would always be laughing, like the people would be all stretched, like their nipple would be like 10 feet long and stuff.
That shit happened in like AAA titles too, though. Like that shit was common in like Halo 3. Remember?
Yeah.
Really?
Stretching
I've never
out,
seen
yeah.
that. I've never seen that happen much in Halo 3.
It happened all the fucking time to me. It still happens a little bit in Halo Infinite.
Right.
Very rarely, but it does. More often than not, you just get like stuck in ceilings and shit.
Yeah, I play. Oh, we finally started playing it. Me and my wife. Now they had like the co-op campaign, and
Yeah,
it's pretty good. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm enjoying it a lot more than when I was playing it by myself. Like I
yeah.
thought the
Same.
campaign was
I
kind
played
of
it with
boring
my
when I
wife,
played
and
by
it's
myself, but
playing it with my wife has been really good. It's fun.
it's pretty cool. It almost feels like a Destiny MMO type thing a little more when you're playing it with a friend. Like
Yeah.
I think.
I really like the pilot as a character in Halo Infinite. He's a good character. Did we lose Demo?
Yeah, it took his headset off, then he logged or timed out, so must have gotten into something.
Huh.
Oh, maybe his pet went crazy. My dog was like barking earlier. Now she's just sleeping.
How was you guys' Christmas? Haven't really, thing since then.
Oh, it was good. Just did the Hungarian Christmas thing. We just ate a bunch, exchanged gifts on New Year's Eve.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
I always take 2 weeks off the last 2 weeks of December and hibernate, so it's awesome. I do nothing
Yeah, it's
but
kind of
play
like what I did for
games
most of my
and
vacation.
watch movies.
I just like slept most of my vacation.
I don't
Nice.
sleep at all.
You guys watch the new Christmas Story movie? Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Mm,
Story. Christmas
actually-
Story. Christmas.
Better than I expected, but it's never gonna touch the original. But it was a lot better than I thought it would be. So that was actually quite a
Yeah,
surprise.
I think this is the third or fourth sequel they try to do to Christmas Story, and this is definitely the best one. There was like Christmas Story 2, and then there's also the Summer Story one.
Oh, I never saw
And-
those.
Yeah, you're not missing anything.
I didn't. Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, but the first time they tried to do a sequel, it was called The Summer Story, and no one like understood that it even was a sequel to it. So it didn't do well. And then they made a Christmas Story 2, and that one was even worse than like The Summer Story. That one was just bad. And then they made this new one, which is actually pretty good. And they actually got all the old actors, which is pretty neat, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
He's like, yeah, it wasn't that good.
I would like I told my brother, I'm like, it's worth a watch. You probably won't watch it more than once, but it was good.
Yeah, it's not a new holiday tradition or nothing, but I did enjoy it. I mean, we watched the holiday special again, of course. But that's like our tradition. We always watch that.
Nice. Yeah, I rewatch the Lord of the Ring trilogy and the Hobbit trilogy every December
nice.
Oh, nice.
while I'm hibernating.
I watched Christmas Evil. It's one of my favorite like Christmas movies.
Nice. We were gonna watch that in big screen, but we didn't get to it. So hopefully next year.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. What was the other one? Deadly Games, or it was originally called like Dial Code Santa. That one's pretty good too. Like a lot of people say, because that one came out before Home Alone and it has basically the same plot, but it's just like a little more like mature. But most people say like Home Alone ripped off that movie, but it's like in French.
Ah,
But instead of being like robbers, it's still like a robber, but he's just in a Santa costume.
that makes way more sense.
Yeah, and that's how like he got the kid to like open the door. You know, the kid's like smart enough to like build all these crazy like traps and stuff, but like dumb enough to like let a guy in that claims to be like Santa Claus. Even when the guy's evil, he's like, I never knew Santa Claus was such an asshole or something. Like, he still thinks it's Santa Claus. Like,
Something happened when he was a child.
did you ever watch that show Happy? That one was like really good. That was like the first season was like a Christmas season, and the second season they did like an Easter one, but that was really good. Really like
No,
it was pretty violent.
check that out. I don't even know if I've heard of that. I thought it seems kind of familiar, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's like this guy. Happy is like his daughter's imaginary friend that he can like somehow see and like helps him save his kidnapped daughter. I think that was like the plot. It was pretty good. What'd you do for your holidays, Robert?
Slept a lot. Watched a lot of Star Trek.
Nice.
We're up to like season 4 Next Generation. So
Oh, pretty cool.
Mm.
I just restarted watching Deep Space Nine recently.
never saw that one yet.
Oh, that's like my favorite one. It's really good. I'll definitely watch that one next. Or like in the middle. I guess it starts like in the middle of Next Generation because I think when they were on TV, they were airing at the same time. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's really good. I'm playing a lot of Star Trek Online too. That game is a lot of fun.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, as far as if it wasn't like a Star Trek game, as far as it just being a video game, it's like, mediocre at best. But like for it being like a Star Trek game, it's really good. Like they have like all the planets, like all the characters. It has like a really good story and plot, and like kind of all the loose ends from like the show, like get tied up. Like they tie up all the loose ends and all the plots in Star Trek Online, which is pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And they got like all the original voice actors from the show and stuff to reprise their roles as like the characters. So it's pretty cool.
How long has that game been out? Sorry.
I don't know. I mean, I've only been playing for like a year or two, but it's been out for like a really long time. And I
Thought
mean,
so,
a lot of the graphics are dated, but they have updated like a lot of things, and like a lot of the stuff they updated is like effects and post processing. So because of that, like the ships in space look like amazing, but like when you land, like the people don't look super great. But I don't know. How was it? Looked really weird, and it was Neelix just looked like so bizarre. The time they couldn't like do his like hair and face right, so they like did the best they could.
I also put like 60 hours in on Chained Echoes.
Oh nice. What is that? Is that the one with the bow and arrow, or what game is
No,
that?
that's the turn-based. It's flat screen. That's on Xbox and Switch and everything, but it's like old school turn-based, but they've kind of like put a lot of new updated systems in it. And I used to obviously play a lot of turn-based, but it's been a while because it kind of got burnt out on. But this one was like, damn, I couldn't stop playing it.
That's what, like a turn-based, like a JRPG, or
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
nice.
I highly recommend it. It's fantastic.
I did start playing High on Life over the break. That was pretty good so far.
Yeah, I played a couple
I
hours
played
of that.
the opening of it. I played a little bit of it.
Yeah,
Not much,
I love Justin Roiland's like comedy. I know some people don't, but like those people are bad people. So
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I saw him live. I saw him at Comic-Con. It was pretty cool. Like him and the what's his name? The guy that draws as the art was there too. The two of them, but they're pretty funny. Like, it was
Yeah.
pretty funny because they were talking about doing the Get Swifty dance, and he was like, "Should we do it?" He's like, "I don't think we could do that." He was like, "Isn't part of it you pull down your panties and shit on the floor?" And then there was like a sign language interpreter that had to like translate that, and he was like, "Oh, did you just have to interpret shit on the floor?" He's like, "How do you do that?" She all showed him how to do like shit on the floor. Like you put your thumb like inside your hand and you pull it out. It's very funny.
Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah, Trover was a lot of fun. I played
Yeah,
it a
I beat
couple
Trover.
times.
Trover's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Yeah,
they
I
do
like
another VR
Trover.
thing.
Have you done
seemed like
virtual reality? That one's pretty good too.
I haven't done that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
love
one's
that.
pretty
There's a
funny.
point where they put you in like a snow globe or some crap, and you see like, I think you see Rick like just fucking huge or something. Like it was really neat. Like the scope of it. That was my
Yeah,
favorite
when you
part.
get like shrunken down, like that was
Yeah.
pretty awesome. And they
I
had,
thought I
like,
saw
the-
Justin was in an interview and he did say that he's like, I think VR is where it's at. I want to do another game, so that excited me.
Hopefully.
Yeah, he's a
I'd
big-
like to see
big-
something else.
supporter of VR.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone that like once you get into VR, you just like love it so much. You're like,
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what PSVR 2 does for the industry. Like, I don't think it's enticing at all to me because, like, I will
You
kick a
already have a
baby before
computer.
I use another wired headset. No fucking wired headsets. Not one cable, not half a cable. No, none of that fucking noise.
What about your
No fucking
headphones?
cables. So they could have made it wireless, but fucking
It
Sony.
looks like they might have a solution, but I don't know what that'll look like. They've kind of been talking about it, but I don't mind
The wire
cables
it
at
doesn't.
all.
Can I even say this? Or I don't know if I can say it. Probably they've already said this, but the wire doesn't break away from the headset. It's
Yeah.
part of the
It's
headset.
solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a bad fucking decision. I don't know.
I think like mine might be missing a piece or something too, because it's like the face is like pretty uncomfortable. Hopefully, or hopefully it's either a prototype or I'm missing some kind of piece, but it's not very comfortable like on your face.
How do you feel about the controllers? Because like a lot of people said the controllers are like meh
The
at
controllers
best.
are awesome. They're like super
Really?
nice. The controllers are amazing.
Nice.
Is that a Halo style?
The strap, the head strap.
Yeah.
It's the same as PSVR 1, right? Halo style.
Is it the Halo style? I forget. Yeah, I think it is a Halo style, and it's kind
Like
of
resting the
awesome to
forehead.
like put on. And but it's not like the one where you can like flip it up or nothing. You just it's like a straight like solid piece, and you just put it on.
Gotcha. Yeah,
But hopefully that does
I got-
well.
PSVR 1 super late because I got a PS5 right away and just to try out just for PSVR 2, and I got a PSVR 1 cheap, so I've been trying to get through all the good games that I hadn't played yet. I got to do that because that's next month.
I figure I'll get one of those eventually, like a PSVR 1, like when it's super cheap, just for the collection. Like,
Yeah.
I also still really need to find a DK2 because I have a DK1, so. And I found one on Facebook Marketplace, and I was like, I could buy it, but it was like 100 something fucking miles away, and it's like,
There's this old VR game called like Cyberbikes VR. And it was, I didn't even realize it was a VR game, but it was like old DOS game called Cyberbikes, but it was actually called Cyberbikes VR. And like when I downloaded it from like abandonware, I was looking at it, you could actually play it in VR. I mean, you probably have to have, and it had like the headset listed on there. I looked it up, and it's a super duper old headset, like from
wow.
like the early '90s. But you can actually play PC VR. But you probably need like an old computer to like hook all that up. But I was like, man, it would be so
Probably.
cool to get all this like hooked up, and it probably runs at like 10 frames per second or something. But it was cool. But I remember even back in the day, like that game killed like my parents' computer. Like it didn't literally kill it, but it couldn't run on it. And then we got like a new computer that had Windows 95 and like a GPU and stuff, and they could actually like play it. It was one of the last like 3D games that they did that were like untextured. Like it didn't have textures, but it just had like 3D objects with colors and stuff. But it was like actually 3D graphics.
That'd be cool to see.
Yeah, but it would be really cool to do that in VR. I feel like it would probably almost be easier to just remake the game than it would be to find a setup to play it. Because it wasn't that complicated of a game. I bet that gave people crazy motion sickness too, because you're like driving these motorcycles and you're going off like jumps and stuff, like shooting at other motorcycles.
We also have a fucking plugin now that directly enables us to generate images from like DALL-E 2 directly in Unreal Engine. That's pretty fucking cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like you can generate textures and shit just on the fly.
I saw a video. Someone made a script that connects with Chat GPT in Unity, and like in the Unity editor, you can like tell it to do something, and it'll like create a script with Chat GPT and then run it. Like you can tell
It's insane.
like. Yeah, it was like
you guys
spawn in a
realize,
square
like-
and like increase the size of this place, place it here, and then like ChatGPT made the script and like it spawned in the square and stuff.
Like
exactly
you guys
how he
have
said
to
it.
realize, like along with me, right, that we're like with the rate of like DALL-E and ChatGPT, we're like literally like 10 fucking years away from a holodeck. Like I am dead serious. If I can generate textures right now in Unreal Engine and it takes a few seconds, what does that look like in 5 years?
Yeah.
It can generate me a 3D model as well. So in 10 years, why couldn't it generate models, textures, sound files, everything at runtime? Based on the exponential nature of computer hardware and increases, I see no reason why that couldn't be possible in 10 years. Kind of scary.
Yeah.
Better fucking make our millions now, Justin.
Well, I mean, the way I see it, there's already like a big flow of content. Like that's not the problem, isn't being able to make a game, because there's more games on Steam, on any platform that anyone's ever going to like even think of like touching or playing.
that's
So
true.
the thing is not making like pumping out a game itself, is making a game that people want to play. That's
Yeah.
why people are like, oh, AI is going to make a game. I'm like, yeah, but why would you want to play a game that's just like randomly generated? Like, I think it's the same now. Like, people are going to want to play games that are well made, that are well crafted.
Certainly, yeah. It's going to be amazing tools though coming in the near future. I know it. Like the being able to generate textures directly in the engine is really cool, but like it's kind of slow and sometimes it crashes the engine. But we're also thinking about using like AI voice actors as well, because like
dude,
the
those
shit's-
sound terrible. We should just get amateur voice actors.
they've gotten so good, like in comparison to what they used to be. Like we're thinking about using them
to,
for like
Microsoft Sam. Like it sounds good, but it still sounds
yeah,
pretty,
like
they're like, you
we're
would not
considering
believe
using
that
them
this
for
was
like
written by an AI. It's like would totally believe that this was voiced by an AI.
we're really considering using them for like side characters and shit like that, like NPCs having conversations on the street, shit like that. But for like main characters and stuff, like fucking Ilnoth, no, he's definitely gonna have a fucking voice actor. So
Makes sense.
yeah, just the fucking Heartlands is so goddamn expensive. I had no idea this shit would cost this much when we started.
Yeah, I think that's like one of my biggest advantages, that because I'm just me, I can like operate for really cheap, so it makes things easier.
I mean,
But yeah,
our
okay.
original goal, I think, was like $60,000 or some shit like that, or maybe it was like 80. And now the project costs already like 300,000 fucking dollars.
Okay.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
By the time it's done, it's probably gonna be half a fucking mil. With no publisher.
I'm not
Yay.
doing too bad.
Terrifying.
Like I took out like 30,000 from my retirement fund, and I have like 10,000 left. But I'm about to get like 20,000 importing fees from IGE plus whatever Pico, YVR, and Nolo gave me. So it worked out
Nice.
for me. I'm in net positive.
Yeah.
At least so
Yeah.
far, I haven't had to take in any like investments or anything like that, other than my own personal one. But hasn't been too bad. And I'm just about wrapping up on what's going to be like the launch version. I just finished the last of the story content that's going to be in it, so just got to
Nice.
test it out. So yeah, pretty exciting. Pretty excited to get this wrapped up this year and figure out what I'm going to do next. I have like a couple prototypes I've done. There's like one more prototype I want to do. I want to make like one where you fly like a jet around and you're fighting like a kaiju in like a giant city.
Nice.
And then after that, I'm gonna kind of look at all my prototypes and see which one, we want to like flesh out into a full game.
We still know what we
Cool.
want to do next, but like at this point, I'm not sure. I'm kind of like lost on how much longer Heartlands is going to take. Like, hopefully, we'll still get the beta out in February, but I'm not really sure, just because there's so much shit broken right now. It's kind of insane.
Yeah.
I was
At
also
what
thinking
point
about
are you
like,
gonna stop integrating new stuff? Because I know you're still upgrading systems and things like that. Is it like a
well, the only time we've ever
Yeah.
just like it's not like we've just been upgrading shit forever. It's more so that we would come across giant fucking issues that couldn't be solved without ripping out the entire thing and rebuilding it. So at the same time, we're like, might as well fucking upgrade it. Like the problem with our
Yeah.
character, like our old characters, was like they would not work in Unreal 5, but like there were tools we wanted to build with 5 that we couldn't build in 4. And like it's a net positive to just rip out the fucking characters. Because some people complain our characters look like Uncanny Valley, which sure. And the new stuff does look much better. I don't know if I've showed you guys the new stuff yet, but it looks really fucking good. So
Nice. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure if I've seen the new stuff yet.
yeah, but hopefully February we can get the new beta out. I don't know, or the first beta, the first paid beta, first like 25 quests or something like that, and the city completely open, stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be good. Be able to get a lot of feedback and stuff too.
Definitely. Like hopefully that's when we'll get that out. I mean, I suspect that the integration for the new AI should be done by the middle of next week, and by the end of next week, we should have all of our original systems functioning again with the new character controller. And then hopefully a week after that, we can have the physics-based like shit done with both of our heads on it. We'll see.
Nice. I
We're
saw
still
some
waiting
stuff that I
on.
gotta have like the Chinese port ready by like March. So hopefully by I got all the Chinese dialogue entered in. So next week I gotta make the UI for it and program a couple things for like swapping out like the strings. And then the story kind of I finished it all. It's all been tested like right after you beat the final boss. So there's like when I was playing, I tested it actually just before we came on here. Like for some reason, after you free the girl and she comes loose, like her other stuff, her weapon and stuff isn't activating when it's supposed to. So I gotta look into that. But after that's pretty much the last quest. I'm just gonna try to get into some more of the voice acting, which I mean, that's not even a big priority because it's the Chinese launch anyways. It's English voice acting, so who cares? But then I kind of have a few last like little things I want to spruce up, like with the AI and with their movement and stuff. But hopefully, I don't know. I don't think I'll have time to get in the new like ragdoll system, but if I can, I can. If not, then it'll be a post-launch thing.
And there's probably a bunch of stuff we're gonna do post-launch as well. I don't know. It's there's just so much shit right now. I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed with all of it, but one thing at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to make out like a list and like mark things. It's like, oh, this has to happen by launch. And this
Yeah.
would be nice, and this is like would be really nice. So
Exactly.
I just kind of broke it down like to what we need to do and what
Also,
like,
kind
we
of
just
question
want.
too, like if we end up having to delay further, why not just make it a Quest 3 launch title?
Yeah,
But
I agree too, but I mean, it's still a big market on the Quest too, and you're already been
there is,
optimizing
yeah.
for it. So
Have they haven't announced like a launch window for 3, have they?
It'll
We're
be out
just
in
thinking
October.
like fall. Okay.
they did say in their stockholder meeting that it's going to be 2023. So I would guess quarter
Yeah.
4, but I don't think they said specifically which quarter.
I
And they
mean,
didn't confirm
would-
the name of it will be Quest 3, but they did say it'll be a follow up to the Quest 2, so that was strongly implied. It's the Quest 3.
I would bet money it's October or November, most likely end of October. So,
Probably.
and of course, I won't have a dev kit, but other people will. So I'm sure we'll see more about it. Oculus doesn't know I exist yet. How sad.
Bastards.
Yeah. That's okay. I don't know, maybe just Heartlands will do well enough and they can just buy my fucking studio. That'd be nice. I can go sit on a beach for like 6 months and then get bored and then make another fucking studio.
This one publisher was like, "Oh, if it goes really well, I may offer to like buy your studio." And I was like, "I don't even know if I want to sell my studio. But maybe I don't know. As long as I have
Yeah.
enough to like fund my next projects, like I'm happy." Like,
Yeah, we have like the next couple of things we want to do. Like obviously the next thing we want to do is our like little builder type fucking thing with like no combat and just very like light survival element kind of stuff. But I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do with that. It's gonna be kind of like a spin off to Heartlands, and then we want to do a shooter of some kind. Something that's
I
kind
have a
of
non-VR thing that I kind of prototype. The prototype's been coming along really well. Like kind of like a physics-based tactics thing. I think I showed you guys. Like it's I think it has a lot of good potential. Like just as like a regular flat indie game. So I gotta get that prototyped well and show it to publishers and see what they think. And then
I've been thinking
that may
recently
be the
about
next
like
project.
about how much like easier things would be for us if we weren't developing on fucking Quest. You can get away with so much more on PCVR.
Yeah.
There's no fucking market there though.
Absolutely.
There's like 17 people and a goat that figured out how to use a headset.
No, there's a lot of people that have PC VR, but there's just no visibility for PC VR games. Like Steam ain't gonna show it to no one.
Yeah.
None of the content creators not gonna pick up any like buzz online if it's not for the Quest, really.
Yeah.
So there's no way for the people that have PC VR to know about your game. That's the big problem.
Just me and our 200 followers.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still
like, it's
very
gonna
much a
be
PC VR.
all the
but
content creators are gonna know about it, but that's it. Like
yeah.
he'll buy your game and Skiva will play it, and
Yeah.
but that ain't enough to like fund the project.
Nah.
It's
Yeah, we're gonna have to
frustrating.
sell a lot to fucking break even after this shit. So hopefully hopefully my studio doesn't have to close after Heartlands. Like I'm hoping that the game is gonna speak for itself as good as it fucking is. You know, you guys have heard all about my fucking thing about how massive the goddamn game is, and I think that's what people want because like
That's
I
what
hear
they
so
say they
much.
want.
I hear so much about how like the games aren't long enough and like what the fuck ever, but you know. When we have something on the scale of Skyrim, how's that going to make people feel? You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking to the guy from Oculus. He was like, "You gotta think more. Sometimes you gotta think more about what's gonna sell the game than what's gonna make the people who already bought the game happy." But it kind of made me think of like this. I have like the soundtrack for the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie, and then there's like skits in between tracks. And he goes, "Oh, listen to the next song." He goes, "Or skip it." Like, I don't care. Use this damn thing as a coaster. I got your money, bitch. Like. But
I've been followed by people
you know, you still want
Oculus
to game. It's not
recently.
just kind of true. You gotta think like, is what I'm gonna doing really gonna like sell copies or like, you know, or is it just gonna make people happy after the fact?
That's kind of like, I don't know how you guys gauge that, like, because it seems like, you know, you hear this and see this and then this is what's popular, but sometimes in the long run, that's like the 50 people that have the loudest voice and no one else really gives a shit type of thing, you know? So
I don't know, man. I'm gonna make the game that I want to fucking play because
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm spending so much goddamn time on it, why would I make something I don't want to fucking play?
exactly.
Like I feel like there are like so many like AAA games. You play them and you can just kind of feel that the developers were fucking bored.
I would agree. You can also tell when there's a lot of love and heart in it.
Yeah, definitely. So,
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to get going soon and
Yeah.
get back to
You're
Chinese
starting to
stuff.
make me yawn a lot.
I know I'm like falling asleep. And I had a busy week. I learned a lot of new things this week. I got asked to do like for my people on contract before, do a lot of things I didn't know how to do before. So you know, like when you have to put a lot of thought into something, learn new things, it just takes
Yeah.
like way more energy. Like that was like my whole week learning new things,
yeah.
which actually went a lot more smoothly than I thought it would be. So I'm glad.
Yeah, I get
Nice.
that. I had to learn about fucking animation notifies this week. That was the whole thing.
Yeah, I had a lot of things. Like it was rigging, skinning. I had baking light. I learned how to bake light this week.
Nice.
All the localization stuff that was all new. Like and all of it, I thought it was stuff that I was like, man, I just know I'm not gonna be able to do this. And then like it ended up being like relatively easy. So worked out, but I am pretty beat.
Cool.
All right,
Well,
then.
It was
man,
good chatting again, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me
See
on.
you in a month.
Yeah, it's been
Talk
good.
to you guys next month.
Yeah.
Good one.
Bye, guys.
Right.